We have team coverage from Altadena to Orange County. We begin right now with meteorologist Melissa McGee and more on the scattered showers still lingering. Melissa.
That's right, Colleen and Michael. Just some scattered activity across much of our region, but thankfully nothing like what we had last night. But let's talk about some of those rainfall totals we've seen so far after the past couple of days here. UCLA, 3.33 inches. Culver City, 2.36, more than 2 inches for downtown Los Angeles from yesterday into today. Woodland Hills, 1.75 inches worth, and Huntington Beach, 1.38. But let's just rewind the clock and talk about what everybody heard last night. Satellite and radar showing you around 2:30 in the morning. You probably heard a clap of thunder or areas of some strong showers and storms moving on through. This is what it looked like on radar at that same time here. The yellows, the oranges, and the reds. That's an indication of that heavy rain that moved through much of LA County and the San Fernando Valley. And the moisture continued through about 9 o'clock. And then after that, a lot of that activity started to move on out. So we'll talk about the weather headlines and what we can anticipate this evening. Still the risk of an isolated shower, but we will continue to dry out. The weekend looking really nice. It's going to be milder with more sunshine to enjoy. And the holiday week looking really nice. A little breezy for Thanksgiving. We'll talk about it coming up with your first alert forecast. Colleen, back over to you.
All right, Melissa, thank you. Meantime, a huge mess in Altadena after all the rain we've had this week. Cleanup and restoration efforts are happening right now. NBC4's Lolita Lopez is there with more. And Lolita, you say there's actually sort of a bright side to all of this rain?
A bright side, yes, because it's leading to a lot of regrowth, Colleen. And as we're listening to so much damage that's happening across our region, here in Altadena, things have looked like this. And many neighbors say that they welcome the rain in the middle of a community that's rebuilding.
The rain just sort of kept falling, and it was subtle and slow, and it wasn't as heavy as it has been. And I came to check here on the property, and everything was percolating into the soil.
Wynn Wilson walks us through her lush garden, surrounded by newly flourishing trees on her Altadena property, where she lost her home in the Eaton fire 10 months back.
It was very bare, and it took the brunt of the fire.
The rain's bringing more green to her trees.
Now the trees are in a situation, looking at this olive, where they can come back with the proper care. So these rains and just adding mulch and taking care of your trees is going to be instrumental for the future of keeping them alive.
The shower's good for gardens across Altadena, replenishing barren lots and bringing natural life to a community in rebuild mode. But on some streets, our cameras captured mud overflow from this channel off Loma Alta Drive. Streets still drivable and no reportable damage, according to the LA County Department of Public Works. K-rails in place since February moved water away from homes and held back mud to be cleared in the future. Public Works tells us rainfall since October 1st has led to the capture of more than 7 billion gallons of water to supply 179,000 people for an entire year. For Wynn, a landscaper who helped launch Altadena Green after the fire, in an effort to restore the tree canopy here, the rain is another sign of new beginnings.
It's just so touching because it makes me feel like everything is possible. You know, we have to keep planting trees, we have to grow more trees.
And plant more seeds. This is a project from a local resident here to plant these California poppy seeds now, hopefully growing them and getting them to come out in the next few months. We also did talk to the county's Department of Public Works, who says all that stormwater that was captured behind dams, it will be released in the spring, eventually leading into the groundwater system to then be used by local customers. Live in Altadena, Lolita Lopez, NBC4 News.
Who doesn't love a poppy? All right, Lolita, I appreciate it. Thank you. A soggy ground caused a large tree to fall on top of a car here in Westlake. The security camera video captured what happened here at the corner of Olympic and Alvarado. Get this, the driver wasn't injured. He says he saw what was happening in real time, so he got as low as he could in the driver's seat.
Called my wife. My son and my wife came, and first thing my son said was, you know, Dad, that's some Final Destination stuff.
Some Good Samaritans helped get him out of the car. He says the only issues he's dealing with now are some neck and back pain.
The storms caused some serious flooding in Huntington Beach, especially one neighborhood there.
Mekahlo Medina live in the neighborhood where the city is still trying to pump all the water out. Mac.
Yeah, some good news, some bad news. The good news is the water is receding. The bad news is it's very, very slow. We're actually here on the sidewalk. This is the street next to a park that had a lake. You can see how deep the water is, a little bit higher than ankle deep. Well, over there in the park, it could be as deep as 4 feet. Neighbors say the water came up right to their homes, some water in their yards, some in their homes. Some neighbors have been trapped because of the water inside of their homes. They say they know this is a low-lying area. It's a problem. They say the city knows that too, but they're not moving fast enough, they say, to fix it. The city of Huntington Beach is using its mobile pumps to suck out all the flood water that has inundated the Golden Park West neighborhood. Water so high, neighbors like Jeanette are trapped in their homes.
We're being drowned by this water.
She's among about a half a dozen homes where their driveways are just blocked by all of that water, too high for some cars to back out into.
The water coming up very fast.
Eli Lee did manage to get out in his SUV, but right across the street, Sylvester Grinneman was not able to. She did not want to show her face, but she blames the city for all this flooding.
They've been working on this park for 3 years to get the pump station fixed. And this is what happens when you don't fix it.
She says the city's public works department updated the neighborhood that it's been looking for a new vendor for the pump. She thinks it's taking too long.
And there's been vendor that was working on it and they stopped. It went to court. They're still working on selecting a vendor. There's a lot of issues with this pond.
She shared with us her phone video of what the flooding looked like right when it started around 10 o'clock last night, slowly getting higher and higher outside her window. And from her yard, well, things just got worse.
Our pool overflooded.
They spent a bunch of money on this for the last few years.
Ben Kasha, who grew up in the neighborhood, says it's been worse. Back in 1994, he says the floodwaters after a storm were waist high.
This whole street was 6 feet deep. So this is not good, but it's not bad.
So it's a known problem.
Yeah.
Neighbors like Jeanette, who's lived here for 52 years, says she's seen the flooding too, but thought there had been a plan to fix it. Now she's trapped behind her gate, waiting for a solution.
Water hasn't receded at all.
What are you going to do?
Sit here and just watch the water.
I just checked on her house. The water is still there. She still hasn't come out just yet. I did get a comment back from the city of Huntington Beach. They say they're obviously aware of this problem. They know this place is flooded. They say at least twice before 2017, 2019. That's on their records. They say they've applied for grants to get this fixed. They're still waiting. We're live in Huntington Beach. I'm Mekahlo, Medina, NBC 4 News.
Mac, thank you. Mountain High is ready to reopen tomorrow. This latest storm dumped up to 14 inches of fresh snow this week. This is a live look from right where the lifts start rolling tomorrow. Parking, by the way, is free.
All right, we want to get back to that breaking news out of Winnetka right now. One person is dead after a tree there fell on several cars.
Julia Ding live at News Sharp Before for us. Julia.
Michael, this happened within the last hour. You can see police on scene, fire department now handling this investigation. This large tree came down in the 7300 block of Mason Avenue. This is going to be just east of DeSoto, landed on multiple cars, and it sounds like it's the driver of one of those cars who has now been pronounced dead. But obviously, massive investigation here. Definitely look for an alternate. Avoid this area if you can. We're live at News Dropper 4. Back to you.